Hey guys, what's up? Thanks so much for watching yesterday's video of me trying out my computer for the first time. Today I have a microphone hooked up to it, but at the same time I haven't figured out how to hook up a mic and not have headphones in at the same time. Otherwise I'll start to get this weird feedback on my mic. So every day it's a new problem, isn't it, when you're setting up a whole new rig and everything. Hopefully all the sound records a little bit better today. It might still be a little bit too low, so I apologize for that if that's the situation. Already yesterday I had people complaining, you don't have a good mic set up, your camera sucks. And I started the video out by saying that I was just using the built-in camera and microphone on the computer, but I guess that didn't register. Also, I think, was the sound off? Like, it was weird. When I recorded the first time, and then I watched the video on YouTube, and it looked like the sound didn't sync right the first time I watched it on YouTube. And then I watched it a little bit later, and then it seemed like the sound had synced up. I don't know if that was just a delay with uploading to YouTube or weird. I don't ever know what the hell I'm doing. How many years of doing this YouTube stuff, and I still screw everything up. Anyway, guys, I thought I'd just jump right into a couple of updates, I guess, on different things going on in the news. Actually, at the same time, while we're doing that, let me go ahead and just bring up the news. I want to start first off, though, by talking about an update on that Yoichi Masuzoe, which I believe was my video sometime during last week, Thursday or Tuesday, I can't remember. If you don't know who he is, Yoichi is a politician who is head of the Olympic board for getting all the Olympics ready for when they're about to come to Tokyo in 2020, I believe it is. And it's been found, just as of the last 6 or 7 months, that he literally embezzled just tons and tons and tons of money that had been given to him to start using to get the Olympics ready. It started first when they noticed that there was too much spending on the stadium, and so they investigated how he was using the funds further. And it turns out the reason so much money was being spent was because he was using it as his own private fund to send him and his family to trips across the world, eating fine dinners, buying a second car to get to his second house. You know, the rough life. Really using taxpayers' monies for the good things. And the crummiest thing about this guy is he used to be like kind of a rags to riches story. He grew up really poor and lived with his brother and sister for a while he was trying to get into politics because he couldn't get much of a job during that time. And during that time, his brother and his sister took care of his mother, who was had Alzheimer's and was in a, what do you call it, an elderly home. That's the word I'm looking for. And they pretty much work in, you know, 60 to 80 hours a week, breakneck work pace, and then taking care of his mother, who had Alzheimer's. Meanwhile, he's couch surfing and just kind of sleeping around on different, you know, family members' couches. Not really making a living yet. And during that time, he decided to write a book called How to Take Care of Your Mother with Alzheimer's. And it was this warm-hearted kind of chicken soup for the soul type book about all the struggle that he went through taking care of his mother who had Alzheimer's, which is a total lie. It was actually his brother and sister, like I just said, who had done it the entire time while they were paying for him to live with them. And he took the credit for all of it and tried to pass off the book as something he had learned how to do by himself. When I didn't have a job, I made sure all I was doing was taking care of my poor mother with Alzheimer's, when really it was just me laying around on different people's couches while my brother and sister paid for my food and board and took care of my mother with Alzheimer's, and I never went to go see her even once. They said if he ever went to see her, it was probably at her funeral, and that was about it. And that was coming from the brother and the sister, not the news media trying to hype it up. So he's not even liked much by his own family. The update that I wanted to give, which I never got around to, was that he's finally been forced into resigning. He was actually going to try and keep his job. He kept fighting and ignoring all these different accusations, saying, oh, I'm really sad to hear that those reports say I did that. Oh, I'm really sad to hear that those reports said I did that. Like, not saying, yeah, I actually did that. I'm just sad to hear the reports say that. Like, what? Do you think everybody's stupid? This guy's a psychopath. Total just must hate the world and everybody in it except for him and his family. That's the only people he wants to take care of. Typical politician, in my opinion. This is every politician out there. Looks out for number one, their family, and everybody outside that can go die. That's literally, I think, how most politicians think about the world. I really don't think they have any humanity. Any humanity you may think that they do have is a total act. It's just totally to get them any votes that they need. They'll put on all kinds of baby kissing and handshaking and telling you what you need to hear while it's time to get elected for something, but when it actually comes down to using your taxpayers' monies, it's totally for themselves. Anyway, okay, so just going to run through a couple things here. Police doing patrols to keep people from the woods safe from bear attacks. Out in Kazuno, Akita Prefecture, there's been quite a few bear attacks to the point that the police are now patrolling the woods with guns, which is, I mean, it's pretty rare in Japan. You don't really have a lot of police officers walking around ready to fire at stuff. Guns are just not as common here in Japan. People always ask me, they're like, how do I get a carry and permit license in Japan? It's that you don't come here and do that. That doesn't happen. You can get a shotgun after you go through a series of tests and licensing, and usually only for the reasons of protecting yourself out in Hokkaido from bear attacks, which do happen in Hokkaido. If you can't prove that that's why you need the gun, then they're probably not going to let you get it. On top of that, every bit of ammo you buy, I mean, I'm talking every single shell, the police come around every year and count that in your house. That means they know how many shells and ammunition is in every house at any time for anyone who's registered as a gun owner. Second part is, people always ask me, like, but you could eventually own a pistol, can't you? If for 12 years you have no criminal activity and no accidents with that shotgun, then you can apply for a pistol license. And that's the closest you'll ever get to a carry and permit license here in Japan. Open carry license or whatever. You would never need it. The country is just not dangerous. Because we don't let people walk around with guns. Woman slips, breaks elbow after 3 students pour liquid on the stairs. In Yokohama, 3 students pulling a prank on their teacher pulled soap liquid all over the stairs. I guess there's some kind of soap concoction. Liquid soap on stairs at the building at Futamatagawa Station in Asahi Ward. That's a real shame. I hope they face charges. They've been caught by the police and admitted to what they did. So probably either they'll have to write an apology, their parents will probably have to pay for her medical bills. It's usually how it goes in Japan. You usually can't sue the hell out of people in Japan. I think that's one thing a lot of people don't realize too, is that they're always like, you should sue. And it's like, you could sue in Japan. You could try to do that. But number one, the first thing a lawyer will try to tell you to do is settle out of court. And if you absolutely can't come to a conclusion that way, they'll go for like maybe $5,000, $6,000. And I'm talking even like large corporations. And it can be stuff that you're like, damn, I think they actually do deserve more money. Like I remember reading something about a girl who they put peanuts in her lunch, which you're like, so what, Scott? But actually, if you have a peanut allergy, you can die if you're a kid. And it was that company's job to know not to put peanuts in her lunch. They have strict rules about this kind of stuff. And she ate it, her face swelled up, she almost died. And, they were hit with tons of medical bills, and they only paid the company. The company only paid the parents something like $8,000, which, like, I think it barely covered the medical bills after everything was said and done. So that's kind of crap. So there's times where that's good, there's times where that's bad. Japan is not a sue-happy nation, though. That's kind of nice. People always are surprised about that when they ask me about America. They're like, are you worried about someone suing you? Nah, not really. All right. This is kind of a sad one. Cat cafe in Tokyo ordered to close permanently for animal neglect. So these assholes opened a neko cafe in Tokyo. I've heard about this story before. And apparently they just didn't take care of the cats at all. They just kind of like let them be free range around their place where they never fed them. The only time they ever got fed is when customers would come in and be like, damn, this cat looks emaciated. Like, I'm going to give it some of my food that I order at the cafe. And then eventually those customers started to complain, like go to all kinds of like animal protection services and stuff and be like, dude, I went to this place and these mangy cats are there. It looks like the owners aren't taking care of them. Finally, after they said just like tons and tons and tons of stupid, ridiculous complaints. I mean, I don't mean the complaints are stupid. I mean, the amount was stupid that they had to go through before someone finally took action. So that's good. I'm glad that's getting closed down. I hope those guys get arrested and put in jail for a while. All right. 2 teens arrested for extorting 2.3 million yen from classmate. Jesus Christ. There's give me your lunch money and there's give me your fucking life savings. 14-year-old junior high school student in Inzai, Chiba Prefecture have been arrested for forcing a classmate to pay them 2.3 million yen. Damn. I'm guessing it's by bullying. Hold on, I'm going to open it up and see. According to the police, In May, the two teens began bullying a classmate, also 14 years old, by beating him with school sandals and ordering him to bring money to school, Fuji TV reported. The boy took a total of $2.3 million in cash from his parents without their knowledge and gave it to his tormentors in 3 installments. The incident came to light after the mother of one of the bullies called the school, reporting that her son was carrying a computer and a significant amount of cash that she was not aware he had. The two boys were quoted by police as saying they wanted to use the money to play around, quote unquote. Wow, what lovely boys. All right, well, luckily, the cops will most likely make these boys pay everything back. Unfortunately, you don't know where it goes from there. They don't give us any more information. I hope they get kicked from the school, but that often doesn't happen in Japan. Bullying is still underreported and underpunished. If that's a word, underpunished, I don't know, in Japan. Okay, guys, I'm going to stop there for today. That's 10 minutes. That's probably enough. I don't want to leave you going for too long. Just another quick test on my computer, and just to kind of catch up with a bunch of stories I didn't get to cover yet because my computer had broke over the last 2 weeks, I guess now. Still uploading, still downloading, still fixing everything up, still getting all my wallpapers fixed up, my icons, everything, you know, pimping out my computer. Having huge amounts of problems with games on Steam. I don't know why. Was loving playing Ark on the highest settings and Soma on the highest settings, and now both of them decide they want to crash a whole bunch. And all the problems I looked up, it appears to be completely the game's fault and not the computer's fault. So, what can you do? What can you do? Can't even buy quality these days, can ya? Oh, well, guys. Hey, thanks so much for all the well-wishing and everybody who's happy that I'm back to making videos. That's always a huge inspiration. The comments I've been receiving lately while I was waiting to get this computer were very inspirational and always keep me peppy and motivated to continue to serve you, the audience, with JFAQ, Japan's frequently asked questions, and me, unrested, with the questions you requested. Have a good one.